Hey everybody, Adam Davidson. RadCast, that's good coffee. Let's get right to it. This is Isaiah chapter 40. The writer says this: Comfort, comfort my people, says your God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem and proclaim to her that her hard service has been completed, that her sins have been paid for, that she has received from the Lord's hand double for all her sins. The writer of Isaiah begins by speaking to the people of God who were in captivity. They had been in the promised land, and then because of their faithlessness and their disobedience, they were exiled from the promised land. They were now in Babylonian captivity. And the first thing God speaks to them after this long captivity and this long moment of quiet and even separation from God, because remember, sin separates. Sin always separates us. These people at large were experiencing a separation from God, and the first thing he speaks to them is comfort. In this Isaiah 40 passage, we actually have a scene of sort of a heavenly courtroom or like a sending station where God is speaking to his messengers, probably the angels, and of course Isaiah is there to hear it as well. And God says, this is what I want you to tell my people. Bring them comfort. Bring them a tender voice. Tell them that their hard service has been completed, their sins have been paid for, that they've received from my hand double for all their sins. And so God immediately comes in and addresses not only their emotional and spiritual state, their discomfort, but also addresses the reality of what caused it, which was sin. It was their choice, not God's, that caused their discomfort and separation in the first place, because sin separates. And so here we have a gracious and loving and compassionate God who intentionally reaches out to people who have even turned their backs on him. And this is an Advent message for us today, because what it does is it reminds us that God always reaches out to us, even in our greatest separation from him. God is always longing for us to come back to him. God is always longing to speak comfort. He wants to put some sort of a medicine or salve on our souls because he sees the ache and the confusion and the hurt that it causes for us to be separated from him. In fact, he sees it better than we do. We try to medicate it, cover it up, deal with it. He sees exactly what it is, and he says, my people need comfort, and what they need is something to get rid of the sin that caused that discomfort in the first place, and I, the Lord, will do it. And what he does in the Old Testament is he gets the people set free from captivity, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow in RadCast, but he actually makes it so that everything is okay in the Old Testament. But then in the New Testament, Jesus comes, he is God with us, and he will be the one who makes it new and okay for everyone today. This is how Jesus does it. It leads, of course, to his death on the cross, which is where our sin is paid for. So listen, more on that tomorrow, but maybe just for today, you just need to be reminded that God is the one who speaks comfort to us, no matter where we're at, and no matter what situation or separation we've gotten ourselves into. This is the hope of the gospel. This is what Advent is for, remembering that Jesus comes to us in our deepest needs, and he is with you today. That's RadCast.